Good time of day everyone, and welcome to the Sir Sick Variety Hour. Today we have a fun little cartoon for your eye hole. Okay, well, I just defecated my pantaloons. We'll turn that down, shall we, you noisy goit? Oh, hey, it's that guy. I want to say Jeff Christofsky? Jesus Christ, Jeff, what do those pyramids ever do to you?
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was.
Nah, I figured out ages ago the problem with the world today is the cost of living is just so damn high. I mean, look at my budget with the bare minimum that I need to survive. And I know what you're thinking, and I agree. I mean, nearly $390 for water. I don't even wash.
Then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time.
So, if they've been controlling everything since the beginning of time, and God started time, that means God must have made the Illuminati by design, and they are part of God's plan. Why are you opposing God's plan?
But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
So yes, this is a call for an uprising. He cray-cray in the best way. You know, funny. I mean, seriously, this intro, if I didn't know any better, I would swear it was a parody. I would do something like this to take the mickey. But no, Poe's Law is a bugger, and yet by all accounts, this guy is completely earnest. So let's have some fun. Yeah, I think we get it. Skip to the end, please.
This is a call for an uprising. We welcome you to today's show. We ask those of you who have not already subscribed to our YouTube channel to please subscribe.
Oh, come on, man. You haven't even given us anything yet. You can't ask people to subscribe before they even know what you're going to do. And personally, I hate asking people to subscribe, like, comment, follow me on Twitter, join my whiskey club, buy my merch, and Patreon my stupid videos. Links in the description. That crap is just cringe and I would never do it.
And support the channel as we continue to fight against and expose the Illuminati satanic agenda.
Oh, and PayPal. Yeah.
The silent war that they have waged upon the people of this world.
See, here's my problem with a silent war, at least as I see it. It sounds way too much like Invisible War, and that game was frigging terrible. I mean, Game of the Year, my hairy backside.
Today's show, we're going to talk about the Zika virus. Now, if you're out there and you think that the Zika virus, like Ebola, like Lyme disease, like these other viruses that just pop up out of thin air.
Thin air, where every virus comes from. Get your thin air today and infect your family with all the disease.
To stop believing in coincidences, stop believing that these things just appear. So you're telling me that a mosquito just suddenly woke up and it had the Zika virus in it?
No one's telling you that. I want to call you an absolute cretin, but without using the words absolute cretin, because calling you an absolute cretin would be rude, so I don't want to say that you are an absolute cretin. Oh no, I just did it a bunch of times, didn't I? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Suddenly a tick woke up and it just had Lyme disease.
Again, no, that would be an incredibly silly thing to say. You know, when these diseases suddenly spread like wildfire across an area, it's an outbreak. Yeah, that's because before that they were isolated in an area. Most of these diseases have been around for donkey's years, often in remote locations that, until that point, people had rarely or possibly even never visited, at least not for a really long time. And all it takes is one person to be exposed to something infectious and contact other people who have this funny habit of, moving about because of trade, etc. And suddenly This virus that only lives in the hairless pygmy rats in the middle of nowhere has reached an entirely different country because it takes a couple of weeks for symptoms to present, and air travel is a thing. I mean, for Christovsky's sake. Most of these kinds of things have only had the chance to spread like that since any kind of long distance travel became mainstream, and we would never have known about many of them without it. Because everyone who ever got it died in a shrub somewhere with the nearest person 3 days walk away.
Or you have the belief that God in heaven has cast these diseases down upon his people.
Look, I'm not going to say that he couldn't have done that even if he wanted to, but I am going to say he's not real. And if you don't like it, then send him to fight me. My imaginary friend could beat yours up anyway, and has a wicked cool machine gun arm, and like tons of radical tats. So, your move, buddy. Now I'm just going to wait for some of my more religious fans to make an angry comment at me because they are completely unable to get past this obvious and ridiculous joke as if it's an actual argument against the existence of God and not me being a prick to annoy them, as I do with the libtards, the gammon-faced right-wing scum, and the filthy kill half of everything compromising centrist filth. You can all suck it. Kiss, kiss.
Because that's what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that all of these diseases come from God, and that God is so bad. That's what they want you to think, that God in heaven, Yahweh, Jesus Christ, is so bad. That's what they want you to believe.
I'm sorry, who? Who wants you to believe that? Like, seriously, aside from religious fundamentalists who always say that X, Y, Z is a punishment from God, because really, what else do they got? But most governments, at least in Western countries, will give the research scientific explanation as why these things spread. I mean, seriously, when was the last time you saw a leader of one of these countries swaggering out and say, oh yeah, that Ebola, that was totes God's doing because we all sinful and shit. Sorry, brah. It never happened.
But the reality of the matter,
he doesn't exist,
is that the people on this earth, the elitists in high positions who work under the all-seeing eye of Lucifer, they create disease. They don't just appear.
And then they spread them in the middle of nowhere with extremely unlikely circumstances needed for them to get beyond the local wildlife. Very sneaky. Do things in such a way that it absolutely looks like you aren't doing anything, and also make sure there's a logical explanation other than a giant yet somehow completely undetectable organization did it. Smart.
Okay? Take a look at Plum Island.
No, you.
If anyone out there isn't familiar with Plum Island, take a look at Plum Island. It's an animal research center. It has been linked to West Nile virus. It has been linked to Lyme's disease.
Okay, by link, do you mean, I don't know, you have some kind of solid proof or some written evidence of wrongdoing? Or by link, do you mean it's a secure facility that we know very little about because of said securitude, so you can make up any old garbage you want and no one can ever check because, again, secure. And if anyone does actually deny any of your claims, it's just a cover-up. No evidence needed.
It has been linked to Dutch Duck.
I'm sorry, Dutch Duck. I mean, I looked it up, and it's an unpleasant illness that's basically deadly bird herpes, but goddamn if alliteration doesn't make that sound slightly hilarious. Also, doesn't seem to affect humans, so irrelevant to your overarching point, I'm guessing.
Diseases that were created in chemical labs that they put and tested inside of animals.
Chemical labs? As opposed to those labs that have absolutely nothing to do with chemicals. They aren't even made from them, you know. I'm guessing you think chemical labs sound scary because you're probably a chemophobe. Bad news though, you got chemicals all over you right now. In fact, they are in you, on you, and make up every inch of you. Better get some hand sanitizer, although I hear they've started putting chemicals in some of those too. Is nothing safe from the chemical menace?
Okay? This is no different than what Hitler did in Germany when they tested these diseases on humans.
Oh, come on, man. Aside from the fact that testing on imprisoned humans is hardly comparable, at least in human terms to most people, to animal testing, you're just jumping right into Godwin's law without even bothering to call people a poopy bum face first. Baby steps, mate. You pull that card immediately, it loses all impact. You gotta save it for your endgame, otherwise you'll just be throwing it away and wasting your turn.
It came over to America after World War II, And they began testing not only on humans, on the mind, they've been testing these diseases on animals. And then what they do is they put the diseases in animals such as mosquitoes and ticks, animals that can transfer it to humans.
Now, it might just be me, but that sounds like an extremely inefficient way of infecting a population. What if the insects are picked off by local predators? Or they just move in the wrong direction? Or countless other factors that are going to reduce the chances of successful infection so much that you would be better off just sneaking into people's houses at night and wiping your balls on their food if you actually wanted them to get sick.
And they send them out into the open. That is how Lyme's disease came. Research it yourself if you haven't already.
Yes, and I'm sure the highly polished, meticulously researched, peer-reviewed studies you have provided will be an excellent source of info. Huh? You don't have anything? What an unexpected twist! Next you'll be telling me everything you are saying is either heard on unsourced blogs or just plain pulled out of your behind. Shocking stuff!
Okay, most of us just hear about it. We go, oh, Lyme's disease. Okay, let me get back to work. Let me get back to my slave work.
Translation. I've never had a job because every time I go to an interview, I didn't follow Sir Six's extremely good advice for the smarts. Don't worry, fam. I got ya.
Sitting at a desk accomplishing nothing all day.
Ha, says you. And before you all start, I never claimed that I have accomplished anything.
Pretending that I'm accomplishing something while I post pictures on Facebook so I seem like I'm important. Question what's going on.
Ooh, the projection here is so thick you could sell it as a low-fat alternative to butter. Mate, you sitting around pontificating on the internet about all the secret naughty stuff that their governments are doing in their secret volcano layers, coming up with world domination plans that would make Dr. Evil cringe, and calling the very people whose hard work is more than likely directly responsible for your ability to start your career in lying to strangers about what you actually know is hilarious. Or at least it would be if it wasn't so goddamn effective. Gotta continue this good fight against nonsense, but not today, because Sick is getting low on whiskey and I have to go take out another mortgage. Bye! Sometimes, when Sir Sick is streaming, I have emotions that I don't know how to express with the words. Also, I want a shiny plate to help me stand out from the plebs. That's when I found memberships to Sir Sick's Whiskey Club, where you'll be awarded a sexy glass to show how special you are, and the ability to share emojis drawn by some woman that he sleeps with apparently, which is really cool. Don't worry if you don't like whiskey, just pretend it's tea or something. Freak. Sir Six Whiskey Club. We aren't better than you, we just think we are.